Call this meeting to order, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States, to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Mr. Wheaton. Ms. Barker. Here. Mr. Kasanovich. Mr. Seibert.
Here.
Mr. Tate.
Here.
Mayor.
Present.
Mr. Little.
Here.
All present.
Okay, level one. Okay, consent agenda. Approval of the previous month's minutes.
You have that.
So,
That's if anybody read the minutes.
did everybody read the minutes? We've got approval on that?
Motion.
Got a motion. Do you have something? Oh, got a motion?
I make the motion.
Linda made a motion. Eli second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes, got it. Okay, now officers report, please, Pat.
Okay. The police report was handed out to all council members to look at. There were 31 calls answered in the month of October by the Beaver Falls Police Department. The financial report, there was a grand total in October spent of $19,137.19. We had deposits and interest in the amount of $8,754.93. Our balance at the end of October in the general fund, $595,855.27. The other accounts are listed on the last page. And that is the end of the officers' reports.
Okay, we have approval of the officers report. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion. I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Ayes, got it. Okay, correspondence, please, Pat.
Okay, I didn't bring it with me, but I have a letter of resignation that I received on Saturday from Michelle McNeely, effective today. For personal reasons, she removes herself from council, and that's that.
Okay.
Also,
Take any action on all that, just put it.
Joe, do you want to address that, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, make a motion to accept it.
Yeah, hold on a second, just for a
Yeah,
second.
let
with
Joe.
Because this gets a little complicated. Like she said, she got an undated letter on Saturday saying she wanted to resign effective as soon as possible. We have to accept a letter of resignation at a public meeting, because she couldn't do it before that, obviously. Accept it at a public meeting, or if she put a specific date in there, whichever is later. So apparently she said she wanted to resign right away, so later is today.
Immediately.
Now, I knew this part without even looking it up. I know once you accept it as an effective date, you have 30 days to fill that spot. If you don't fill that spot as a council, then you're supposed to have what's called a vacancy board that would have 15 more days to fill that spot. And if the vacancy board doesn't do it, then it's kind of up in the air until and if people get together and could actually petition the local court, the court of common pleas, to appoint somebody. Considering how close we are to the end of the year, my suggestion to Pat in an email was, of course, we're going to accept Michelle's letter of resignation, make it effective, we have 45 days, make it effective 45 days from now, because that'll put you into December with less than 30 days left, and then you don't have to fill the spot, go to all that trouble trying to find somebody, because you got a new council coming in. So my advice would be, whether it's Wendy, whoever wants to make a motion, accept Michelle's letter of resignation, effective 45 days from today, and that'll get us through the end of the year.
Okay, good.
That's okay with you guys?
Yes.
I'll make the motion.
Wendy already made the motion.
I'll second it.
Second. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye, Scott. Do I have to make a roll call on that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Just make sure the minutes reflect 45 day since,
All
Right.
and then we'll be good through the rest of the year.
Okay, thank you very much for explaining that. Just a couple other things. There's a reminder from Senator Vogel on the 16th, which is next Thursday. There is a municipal and government leaders grant funding workshop that will be held at the Historic Harmony Museum, Stewart Hall, 218 Mercer Street, Harmony. And for any more information or questions, contact Amy Reynolds in the Cranberry District Office, 878-978-25. Is that 75? Didn't pronounce.
2575.
Thank you.
What time was that again?
Check-in will begin at 12:30, and the seminar is from 1 to 4. Thursday, November 16th.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I got an email, and it's from Mackenzie Cargill. She is a project developer with Green Key Solar. We are seeking to develop solar projects in West Mayfield Borough. Typically, our projects are between 4 and 40 acres in size. The power produced is tied directly into the grid and sold at wholesale or retail rates. Could you please assist with the following questions? Is there zoning in West Mayfield Borough? If so, please point me to the zoning map. Is there an ordinance for solar development? If so, point me to the ordinance, and we do not have an ordinance for that. Is there a land development ordinance?
Can't remember on that one.
Is land development associated with like a subdivision ordinance?
Yeah, something.
Unless
We
you
do not have one.
You don't have that.
We go by the county.
Yeah, right.
Okay. And it says, thank you, please feel free to call me at any time to discuss if you would like. I can be reached at such and such a number. So if anybody's interested in anything, I have that information. And that's all the correspondence that I have.
All right. I don't have to do that through a motion.
No.
You're gonna respond to that, or do you have to respond to that?
No, it says,
Don't have to.
you don't have to, and it says, please feel free to call me to discuss if you would like. So it's
Okay.
not something that's,
I didn't know if they were planning on putting something up.
no, they're just looking, they're doing research.
I mean, unless you can answer a
I mean,
couple
if somebody wants to call and talk about that, I'd be happy to pass this on.
All right, if that's it, then can I have a motion to go to citizens?
I'll make the motion.
Any next motion?
I'll second it.
Oh, thank you, Jay. Okay. Citizens, as you come in, please stand, give your name and address, and tell us why you're here.
Brian McNeely's on first.
Brian McNeely, I'm not sure which address you want me to give you. I got Industry and High Street. I had a little meeting with Jake and Eli and Lou about working here again, and I just wanted to see what your plans are of what I'm getting paid to work here, and if you discussed that or not.
We're gonna
bring
have
it up
a
for one.
executive meeting
They haven't got that far yet.
later on, and then after we decide on that, then everybody can come back in, and then I can have your answer for that one.
Yet tonight?
Yeah, I
Oh,
can
okay.
call, I can call you if you have to leave.
Oh, I'm fine. It's just,
Okay. All right.
like I said, I'd be glad to work here again. It's a matter of
Yeah, I
you
know
guys
that.
should come
You
across.
didn't put executive session down on the agenda.
I didn't know that we had to do that to discuss before.
He asked me about hiring,
okay.
and I didn't know this was gonna be on here either.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't aware of that.
So you'd have to have a motion to reopen the agenda
Yeah,
to include that if you want to consider that tonight.
I'm sorry, Pat, I didn't.
okay. Okay, I guess we better take care of that right away, is to move to,
Do that right away then?
Well, if you guys want to consider, then someone's going to have to make a motion, vote upon it to reopen the agenda to include an executive session to address a personnel question.
I'll make the motion.
Now, should we finish citizens or wait and go back on to citizens?
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, you were in the middle of that, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
Finish that?
You're right, Lou, finish the citizens, I'm sorry.
Okay. And then hold off on your motion.
okay,
So after we get done with citizens.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
Teresa,
next.
Teresa Burkfeld.
Hi, my name's Teresa Bergfeld. I live at 4500 West 6th Avenue. I just wanted to talk about a telephone pole that has a street light on it, that the street light is out, which makes it very, very dark. And I just live at the end of 45th Street.
What's the
So-
address again, ma'am? Where
I'm
the
sorry?
light, where the street, what's the
Yes,
address
I have the
again?
pole number if that's what you
Oh,
want.
okay, that's better yet.
It's by Sue Hines' house. It's on the corner of West 7th and 45th Street. But the number is, let me see if I can find it. Yes, it's 246434 is the pole number.
246, what?
434.
Thank you. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
thank you.
Okay, next.
Margaret McCauley.
Hi, Margaret McCauley, 1020 High Street. I just had two questions. In June, Mr. Budasek, you said that you were going to write a waiver for the park rental and liability. I just wondered where that stood.
it hasn't been done yet, I have to be candid with you. I can,
Okay.
council still wants me to do that, I can do that for next meeting.
Okay, I'm sorry, what was that?
That he was talking about writing a waiver for the park rental on liability back in June. And my second question is, council had also been discussing eliminating Aiken as our refuse. And then I got a letter dated October 19th that they're changing their billing cycle according to council, so that people would have more of a chance to pay their bills.
That's something I'll bring up in finance and litigation. We'll get that hashed out.
Okay, but do we have Aiken? Are we keeping them, or are we waiting?
We have them currently.
Okay, because I sent mine in because it was due November 15th from January, February, and March.
And I sent mine in clear up to March.
Yeah,
we're
so.
good.
Yeah, pretty much.
I didn't get one for October.
Yeah, the increase was in the contract.
Right, no, that's not on what I'm saying, is that we were doing away with them, we were keeping them, we weren't sure.
That's something we'll try and discuss tonight. Get a good.
Because I never had an issue with them, so I don't have a problem with them, but I just, since we already paid, would we get our money back, or how would we get our money back?
Yep.
All right, thank you, Margaret.
Can you tell me that again so I don't miss it this time? Waiver of the liability for, what was that again?
Park rental?
Down
Park rental.
Rentals, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right, next, please.
Bob Tate.
Okay. Bob Tate, 3631 Ann Street, Beaver Falls. Got a couple things here. I know after that last budget meeting that we are in trouble.
Yeah.
And what I've been thinking a lot about it, and what I come up with, now I brought this up years ago about a rental license. Patterson Township charges me $25 per house per year on my houses up there, and they just call it a rental license, and everybody has to pay, whoever has rentals. So I talked to Kathy about it, because what we decided before was that's a lot of work to be able to chase these people down, find out who's renting. But Kathy knows most of these because she sends bills to different locations. So I thought we need to look into this again. We would have to pay her some more because she's going to be needing stamps and flyers or however we're going to mail. That's how I get one of my taxes somewhere, just with a flyer. Okay, Rochester does that too? Okay. That's going to bring in some revenue. It's going to cost me, but we're gonna have to do something.
Bob, I have a question, please.
Sure.
The taxes you're talking about putting on the owner of the property paying or the renter itself?
The owner.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
So everybody, like me, I would have, I think, 10 maybe. That's $250 just for me. Now we got Whipple Court, we got Mayfield Village per unit. You know, this is going to bring in some money.
Definitely.
So that's something to think about. It's not, I mean, your average person has one, maybe two rentals. So it's not really costing that much. It's not going to hurt them. And then another thing is, when I was talking to Patterson about getting some information about how they build and everything, and they said they also have a fire tax, is what Wendy brought up the other night about putting a fire tax on the borough. But I could go one step further and make it a fire fund, because a fire tax is you go a percentage of each mill or something, and it's not very much. But if we say Patterson's $3 per month in their sewer bill. Now we can't do that way because we don't have, they own their sewer department. Yeah. So then what they do is they take that money that comes in, so that's $32 a year per residence. Mm-hmm. So, and I would think that would fall true to the same thing with Mayfield Village. I think that you would do it per unit. I'm not really sure about that, how we would do that yet. But then what they do is whenever the fire department needs tires, it comes out of that fund. They need gas, comes out of that fund. The candy that they give out for Christmas come out of that fund. Insurance, I don't know if I said insurance yet. You know, what we pay them for now, basically. But it won't be coming out of our general fund anymore. It'll be coming out of a fire fund. Mm-hmm. So that's something to think about. Yeah. That should, they bring in a lot of money up there, but they got a lot more people. So that's something to, think about. Yes. And that's something we want to get the ball rolling if we do. That's why I brought it up now instead of waiting until, because it takes time to do. I would imagine Joe would have to, would you have to do?
Would have to do an ordinance on that.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
So, I think that's all I was going to talk about here.
You'd have to do an ordinance for the fire fund thing, Bob. And I'd have to do the research. It'd probably be considered like a tax. You'd have to do the ordinance in that fashion. And when you say rental, are you talking about rental and rental inspections too, or what?
Yeah,
so I'm clear
they don't always do inspections, but they can.
Some do, yeah.
If a place looks in disrepair, you can go in and inspect it.
Well, a lot of the places, I'll tell you, this is getting more and more common. They have periodic inspections, whether it looks bad or not. You have to get an inspection done like every 2 years, or if they don't get to you that quickly, whatever they get to you, okay. And they inspect it, and then you also have to get an annual license, whether it's your year to get inspected or not. You get a license. So a lot of places are like that. I'm just telling you guys that if you want to think about that.
Who does the inspection?
I know. I have one rental only.
For the rentals.
For the rentals. We have our code enforcement officer in Beaver. He does it.
Yeah, Mark Stowe does it down Beaver
Falls.
Yeah, Mark does it down there. Yeah.
Now that's going to put a lot more burden on Kathy. So I'm thinking what we would need to do is give her like 1-2%. We have to figure out what we're going to bring in. Give her a percentage of that, plus the cost for the mailings, the ink, and all that. But in the long run, we're going to bring a lot of money that way. So something to think about.
All right.
And then she could also, I figured she could get a percentage plus whatever delinquent. If there's delinquent money comes in, if it's tell them pay it by a certain date and it's $25, anything after that she gets to keep the, because she's going to have to be the one chasing them down to get it. So
All right,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yep.
Okay, next.
Linda Burns.
Linda Burns, 1010 High Street. Do we have any word on what we're gonna do with the speeding up on High Street? Speed humps, speed bumps?
We haven't brought up about speed bumps yet.
I mean, I know you have to figure it into the budget. Anybody even think about contacting Mayfield Village, the owner, the property manager? It's a revolving door up there.
I've
People are
contacted
moving-
Mayfield Village and told them about that, and they said that they were gonna put a message into all their residents.
Okay,
about
well, that's good. That's a good
That's
start.
a start.
I mean, it is a revolving door. People moving in, people moving out. Maybe the people moving in don't know and the people there still don't know. I don't know.
I had a suggestion possibly of closing a section of High Street between Mayfield Village and High Street Extension.
For them just to come in and out
Mayfield
of,
Village goes up 10th Street.
what about like their guests? I mean, they'd have to tell them.
Mayfield Village access only up to 10th.
What about buses?
Mayfield Village only
Yeah, they gotta
access to
go around.
10th. Everybody else would have to go Shooty, High Street Extension.
That's
But then how
dangerous.
would the school
That's
bus get up
dangerous.
there? I don't think that's a good idea.
Where
Now
did you
you're,
say shoot?
look where you're
Where's
having to
Shooty?
pull out, that's dangerous.
Shooty is the technical name of the road that comes off of 37th Street Extension that goes up to High Street.
By
Just past my house.
by
That's
Margaret's
actually
house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because it was crossed 37, they go the other way.
Because if we're worried about high-speed traffic on High Street, that's the result of Mayfield Village. Isolate Mayfield Village. If we were to put speed humps in there, we would have to repave that road first. That's a whole
People
lot
can
of
still get on High Street though, right?
Yes,
Shooty,
we
High
would be
Street,
coming
High
off
Street
of
Extension.
37th Street.
You still have your road,
Up around the bend by Kip.
but
Yeah.
but essentially Mayfield Village would be isolated.
I gotcha. Okay.
So, yeah, that limits people's traffic, limits their travels. But that's a possibility, a
I mean,
very
that's-
drastic possibility.
I mean, hey, whatever works. I'm just tired of it. And I know up where we live, it's just, it's us, it's the houses. It's, what, 5, 6 houses up there? None of us are speeding up there. 'Cause we
Right, but
come up.
what I'm saying is, a possible way to isolate
Okay,
this high-speed traffic coming in and out of Mayfield Village
hey, if it
is to
works.
shut off High Street
Okay.
and isolate it to Mayfield Village.
Let's start. That's good.
Yeah, the parking lot, to the top of the parking lot.
Yeah. And that parking lot has an access way that's sort of close down towards High Street Extension. Like if you're coming up High Street, Extension's on the left,
I'm right there in the corner, so yeah, I know where you're
isn't
at.
there a little cut in for the parking lot
Oh, up to the,
One on the right.
back to the project, to the
oh,
right?
I don't know that for sure. What, back where Kimmel's live?
No,
No.
right here across from,
Across from me?
Across the street.
yeah, it's Caddy Corner, it's, it's a little bit there, but there's also the, apartments right, the first set of apartments,
Yeah,
which they're right there that have, right
Parking.
Right,
across
but
from
that-
us,
that part-
parking.
But you're talking about the next parking lot up that, yes, there is a little that they could
and
cut in.
it looks like they could come
Yes,
off
they
High
could.
Street, go into a parking lot and go around,
Yes,
get back on High Street, so that would have to be
They
closed
could.
off.
yes.
Right there.
Right.
So that's a possibility.
Okay. Hey, so if it works, yeah. I just get tired of being yelled at, beeped at. Cars stop in the middle of the road when I yell at them, especially when it's dark out now.
Right, that would close off that roadway. Kind of stop all the high-speed traffic.
The reason all that traffic is going down your road though is because of how much of a nightmare it is on top of 37th Street to pull out.
There used to be a mirror over there too, and that's
It
gone.
keeps getting broken, so.
Yeah, it is hard to get out of there, especially in the daylight. At least when it's dark out, you can see lights coming, but it's still hard. Okay, then I have one more thing about, I think I asked back in August about Duquesne Light coming to cut the branches. Do we know where that stands, or have they been in the neighborhood, or?
We're on a waiting list, that's all I can say.
And they subcontract it all out to another tree company.
I was outside one day and I saw a truck and I'm thinking, oh, they're coming to cut the trees or the branches down. It's like right by it. They didn't even stop, so I was hoping it was them.
When we get there, that's all.
Okay.
Where are the branches at?
Right there in the corner of High Street Extension. It's not, the pole's not even in my yard, but all the wires come from that pole to my house. And the guy's house over here across the street down the road, I mean, they go everywhere.
Yeah, it's the whole length.
Yep.
Them out. Yeah.
I'm coming for generators if it goes out.
Okay, thank you, Linda. All right, next please.
Randy Hayward.
Randy Hayward, 810 Lennox Avenue.
Yeah.
I got two questions. I guess we don't have anybody working right now, so that was part of the problem, but I would like to know where we stand on the equipment to berm the sides of the roads, you know, take the leaves and brush off the sides of the roads, and leaf pickup.
Yes.
How's the equipment stand on that?
I've worked myself, Brian, all day Friday. We've got the leaf machine working and everything, and a little dump truck. We got it all prepared and ready to go.
And
So
inspected.
hopefully,
Okay.
if we have somebody
When you get somebody, it'll
next
get.
week, we
Okay.
will start.
How about the brush
The boom
boom?
mower.
I called Ray tonight and asked him, you know, what else you have to do to it. He did not reply yet, so I'm going to his house tomorrow, right after I get off work,
Okay, good enough.
and get that taken care of.
All right, because we need that done.
Oh, I know we do, yes.
Rock Avenue is nearly a single lane.
Mhm.
Well, it's getting better now that the leaves are off.
Yeah, yeah.
Cut that off.
They still need cut down. And my other question was about last month's meeting. Rhonda Rinaldi and the properties that we together work on. Okay, and we're given the okay to take care of and use. Is there anything going on that, or?
That'd be up to,
That was 2 meetings ago or 3 meetings ago.
yeah.
I think she was here with you or.
Yeah.
I looked into it, and my recollection is, where her property is, it's, what's the street name again?
Lennox Ave.
What's the other street there coming?
Rock.
Rock, okay.
Yeah.
Where the two streets meet, the borough does own that property. She had somebody was telling her she could lose her pool, this, that, and the other thing. That was all a bunch of BS, okay?
Well, yeah.
Okay, but here's what it is. And I gave Lou some detail on this, and you gave it to her, or she was here at the last meeting, I remember.
Yeah,
talking
you
to her.
talked with her.
But she couldn't stay, I forget why she couldn't
right.
stay. And I told her at her convenience to give me a call, because here's the bottom line, what can be done if council is of a mind to do it, because her use of the property, the pool, whatever else she has there, I didn't think it affected your property, but affected hers.
Well, I don't own that property either. I have an outbuilding on that property, and I've cut it for 48 years or something.
Well, what I was telling her we could do is the borough could give her what's called an easement.
Okay.
An easement, everybody thinks an easement's a right of way. That's just one type of easement. Give her an easement permitting her, permitting her to use the borough property for that limited purpose. If she ever stopped using it, then it's done then.
Right.
But that way, if down the road she goes to sell her property, even if she lives there the rest of her life, and her family goes to sell her property, those easement rights would travel with the ownership of her house.
Oh, okay.
And then that's how she's covered.
And that would be the same with my house.
Yeah, I have to be honest, I just looked at hers when I was looking.
Yeah, right,
I was
okay.
looking at one of the GIS thing online. But giving an easement, because you guys did a similar thing for, I'm trying to remember the guy's name. He passed away, he was council. Dick Clute, yeah. When they sold his house, they had to give a birth there. It doesn't cost that much, it'd be several $100s, you should pay the borough for the cost of that. And then it would be done. It'd be a matter of public record. It gets recorded at the courthouse in the recorder of deeds office.
Oh, okay. Well,
She's just
whatever.
gonna follow through. Tell her to give me a call at her convenience.
I talked to her tonight, she couldn't make it, she's not feeling well, but,
I think that was the problem last month too.
yeah, she
Yeah,
has.
I remember.
She has some issues, but,
Yeah.
that property down there, I'm sure you know, can't be used by the borough for anything. It's not big enough to build on. It's not, you know, so.
Well, it's different though. You don't wanna get into, can the borough give it to her, can she buy it?
Oh, I know.
Because then you gotta get into the bidding process and everything. So it's just easy if someone has a kind of I call it a passive use. It's encroaching on the borough property, no doubt. But we can give her our consent to do that forever.
Oh, okay. All right, well,
not to-
just keep me informed of
Okay.
what's going on with it, that's all.
When you talk to her, tell her to give me a call. I gave her my number and everything.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I'll have a call.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Okay, next.
Nora Seuss.
I don't have anything.
Okay, Nora, thank you. Brian Cobalt.
Brian Cobalt, 101 Boyd Avenue. I had a couple questions. I was here for the budget, preliminary budget, and I didn't hear anything about the budget for a borough helper, a helper. We're all concentrating on hiring one person to do everything. So why isn't even thought about yet of having someone work with Brian if he's decided to take the job?
Can I answer that for you?
Sure.
The amount of money that we allowed for the salaries in the budget
Mm-hmm.
was for both employees, both an operator
Great.
and a laborer.
Great, okay.
So it was included. We're not just hiring one person. The budget was figured out according to having 2 employees.
Great. I missed that. I apologize.
That's okay.
Thanks, man.
Have we even started interviewing for the second person?
We're gonna discuss that tonight.
Oh, for a second person?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I had.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
All right, next.
That's the end of the list.
Is that it?
Does anyone else want to talk that didn't sign?
All right. I have a motion to go back.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say, oh, no, we don't do that. All right, we're gonna go ahead and move to the meeting.
Or you wanna do it at the end of
We have to edit it, not the only way agenda.
Do what now?
We have to edit the agenda.
Okay.
We need, however started the motion before. Okay, that again.
I did. We have to edit the agenda.
Okay, it's a motion
I
now.
made the motion.
Okay,
So
then
we
you
just
said
edit.
Jake
I'll
seconded it. Okay, all those in favor say aye. Opposed,
We're
say
not
no.
gonna do that, just.
Okay, so now
We'll do that at the end of the,
I thought we was gonna move that up front. Get it done.
That's inconvenient for everybody. Well, not my call to make.
No, we can wait till the end of the meeting.
Yeah,
then?
but it's just the last couple of months when you needed one.
Yeah.
You waited till all the business was done, you recess in the executive session for a few minutes that you needed, and you go back into regular session if you gotta vote upon something.
Okay.
And to adjourn the meeting at that time.
All right, thank you. Okay. Okay, old business.
I don't care.
All right, Phil.
Thankfully, under sores, I don't have any that happened last month, which was a great relief. And hopefully we don't have, because this is the time of year, as it gets colder, seems to be when things start to act up, clog up. So I haven't heard anything, so that's good. So we really don't have anything on sewers right now. As far as streets go, the streets, I think I had made the announcement, the paving, that was all done last month, including the hump. And the only thing we got to do once we get somebody hired is finish putting the paint down on the humps and putting the signposts up. Put the sign that they're all here and everything's ready to go, we just gotta have time to go do it. Next year, I think we put some money in the budget for it, if we're gonna do streets again. Expecting I don't know whether we're gonna have an increase or not. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Like, price of oil seems to be going up and down, who knows, depends what happens, I guess, with the war. So, You gotta give some thought to how much money you're gonna spend there.
What did we budget last year for it?
I don't remember, we spent 110,000, that's what we spent for everything we did. And we generally split that up between general fund
Yeah.
and the
Yeah, I
liquid
took,
fuels.
I took 40,000 out of general and paid the other 70,000 out of liquid fuels.
Yeah, we talked about that last time. And that's typically how we handle it. But knowing what the budget we had put together, we're in trouble. I think $100,000 over.
I think I saw a thing where it's about $40 a square yard.
I don't remember how it came out this year. That's
There was
several months.
Somebody's recent minutes I was looking at, I think it might have been Copple, they had a certain area that was being paved and it came out about $40.
Yeah, they did all that work down there.
Square yard. So that's, a 15-foot road is 5 square yards, so you're looking at $200 to do 3 foot of a 15-foot road.
We're gonna do the roads next year. We need to get on this in January, February of
Yeah, absolutely.
mapping out what roads need to be done. Because you gotta get to these guys earlier. You're at the very end of the list come time to do it.
Yep.
That's it, Bill.
All right. Thank you. Wendy, anything on streets?
Nope.
Okay, fire and police?
Nope.
Okay, building and grounds, you got anything on building and grounds?
I tinkered with our old employee handbook after some of the discussions we had recently. I think one of the things that we had talked about in general was eliminating the forced lunch break from 11:30 to 12. And just saying, if you work from 7 to 3, take a half-hour paid break. Because you work 8 hours, you're entitled to a half-hour paid break. Take that at the convenience of your workday. Similarly with part-time employees, same thing, that they'll get that half-hour break if they're working an 8-hour day. I also had considered the whole vacation issue. When I worked for UPMC, they didn't call it vacation, they didn't call it sick time, they called it paid time off. And you accrued so much paid time off for every length of time that you were there. I thought if we were to give a half a day per pay period, we get 26 pay periods, 2-week pay period. So that gives you 26 half days, that gives you 13 days of paid time off that you will accrue over the year. So January starts, you got 2 pay periods, suddenly you got 1 day off. February kicks in, you get another half day. You're not gonna take a week's vacation because you haven't earned it yet. So I tinkered with the idea of accrued paid time off.
Now, does that end? Is that a use it or lose it? By the end of the year, you gotta get it spent?
You only accrue it by the end of the year, so that would be up to council if you guys wish to do that.
And then,
But like I said, I thought in lieu of all this different time off and this and that, if we were to offer that, okay, we're giving up 13 days of time. That's 2.5 weeks. Just thought that might be an option.
Yeah, that sounds good, but I don't mean to bulk things down, but the question of, if I only work 2 days that week, I still get that
You have to work a full,
week. That's what I'm asking.
yeah, I think I had in there something about working a full pay period.
I come out 1 day and I get my extra.
Yeah, no.
I could see giving 4 days, but you must work 4 days that week.
it's an incentive to keep people working, but also still reward with time off.
The rate of 4 hours per pay period if full-time hours, 40 hours, are worked during that pay period. Time will accumulate for the employee to use at their discretion for vacation or sick time. Borough retains the right to approve or deny requests or any time off based on a number of factors, including but not limited to staffing requirements and overall department workload. That came right out of what it was before.
Okay.
Yeah, that was just something I thought of. You guys could take a peek at that.
That's all the changes?
Yes.
Yeah. You wanna put a motion on the table to change it?
Like I said, this is just something that I come up with. If council would want to consider it.
I think it's not fair.
What do you guys think?
So this accruing time as you go eliminates the vacation.
Correct.
What about that? I mean, I understand that, but that's not gonna be real appealing to trying to hire somebody.
I'll say.
You know what I mean?
That you're going to accrue 13 days
I
of
understand.
vacation time in a year.
I understand exactly what you're saying.
So you get 2.5 weeks.
What are we starting people at now? 1 week off?
After a year.
After a year.
So you get no days off until after that year. Whereas now you get time off throughout the year.
Right.
Yeah, whatever you want. So
it's kinda,
up and down. Yeah.
That's what a lot of hospitals are doing in that, doing PTO. A lot of places are going to that.
is that something that we have, I don't know if this is even a possibility, but let them decide if they would rather work a year to get 1 week or take PTO.
Of course, you wanna make sure, depending on how many employees you have,
Yeah.
consistent.
Yeah.
And any problem there, and I'm just trying to, see a problem there maybe, you know what I mean, Jake?
Oh, yeah.
Where I work, after 6 months, I got 2 PTO days. After 6 months, and after a year, I get a week.
Why don't we bring this back up next month?
No, I don't know, we kinda need to talk about this now.
Well, yeah, but we can talk to employees that we're hiring, see what they would like. That's why I said after we do the interview, unless we, well.
Well, the big thing is we've gotta lock somebody in, like soon, so I don't know how we do that without deciding something.
These are bigger companies that do this,
To do what? What's that?
that do the PTO.
That's my wife.
I mean, you're given, after a year, if they don't miss any work, giving them almost 2 weeks.
No, after a year,
1 week.
after a year, you get 1 week.
1 week.
I thought 13 paid days if it's
This is
PTO.
PTO.
Right.
This is PTO. I start working and in a month from now, I've accumulated 1 day off.
Okay, 12 months is,
Then I get
12
13,
days.
yeah, then I
13
get, I
days.
get 13 days if I come to work
At the end of the year.
at the end of the year.
that's
So-
2 weeks.
So, yeah,
5 to 10.
so 6 months into working my first year, I would have saved up a week's time.
Time off, yeah.
So,
Which is actually better than what you get right now.
yeah, it's far better than what we're giving
Yeah, it's a
now.
much better deal.
Does it roll over?
That's up to your companies. If you're gonna roll
If
it
you don't
over,
get
some
10
companies
days,
don't.
According to
They'll
the
let
thing
you-
right now, for 3 years.
Yeah.
But if you get sick one day, you lose it. One legit sick day, you would lose, right?
Or you go unpaid.
Well, that's why I say I'd rather see it cut down instead of 5 days, maybe 4 days if you have a 4-day week. Because if you get sick or something like that, or something emergency
Right,
or
something
something,
legit.
you can do include it.
Death in a family or something.
Most people come to work. We haven't had too many issues with people taking off. I would think if you wanna make to change the 4-day week, so they gotta work 4 days in a week, that's where I would be okay.
More doctors know.
Oh, yeah, 4 days with a doctor's note.
Yeah, that's what Billy's saying.
They have to, that way they're not
They have
losing
to
it today.
miss.
But like they're saying, if you roll with the doctors.
Yeah, but you're gonna go to the doctor every time you get a cold, you get a note.
It's up to you people.
Well, I
I
like 4
worked
days.
at Home Depot and they, every paycheck you got after the 6 months, then you were acquiring vacation time, but every pay period, you got 2 hours. That's it. And then by the end of the physical, which would be October, you had to use or lose your vacation, and you could only keep up to 40 hours of your personal hours that you collected. So if I got over a year, I collected my 40 hours. If I went to 42, I either had to use my personal time or they would pay me for those. But vacation, you have to use or lose, but your personal time, you could keep that. You could keep accruing it, you know? I mean, that's like how Home Depot does it. That way you have vacation and you have, so after a year, you're working, you get a vacation, but you can accrue personal time that you can keep growing, you know? So then you're not penalized, you know?
Like sick leave policy.
Kind of, yeah, yeah. Doesn't hurt you.
That seems like a benefit to me.
I think in 4 days,
If you would happen to call in sick and not work that full thing, then that one pay period where you miss the day, you don't get the 4 hours of added PTO. But if you come to work the following pay period and work the full time, you get the PTO. So if you get sick and miss a day, you're out 4 hours of PTO.
You lost your day plus 4 hours.
Hey, right. Hey, right at all.
If you had PTO time accrued and were sick, could you use it one day for sick? To make up your 40 hours?
I'd imagine you could.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. If it's accrued, it's yours. You
Yeah,
use it. If you're sick, you just use your.
So you can continue to accrue your time, just use a PTO day to
Yeah.
make up for the day you're sick.
It's personal time off is what it stands for.
Yeah, that's better.
And do you still get the week vacation after you're here a year?
What's that? This is in lieu of any
Oh,
vacation.
Yeah, this is the vacation process.
This is the pay time off process.
And would it roll over into the next year if you
I
don't use
imagine
it?
it would.
Yeah.
I think,
Because you're only accruing.
but I mean, if
You're not really accruing all that to.
Right, they're gonna implement it. Right.
They're gonna take time
You're
off.
accruing it as
They're
you go.
gonna take time off, yeah.
I like it. I'm a
Incentive to
yes.
keep them.
You guys wanna make them,
Like I said, it throws out 13 days of vacation time. We don't have benefits. So some way to attract people to work for us, I thought, here's time off. So again, it's just something I proposed.
We'll make a roll call on that.
well, you
We have to have a motion.
First,
I'll make the motion.
I'll second the motion.
And is that to eliminate the lunch break and
Yeah, both at
put in
once.
the PTO?
Yeah, and then there was another change too, wasn't there? I thought you had 3 changes in there.
How about holidays?
Bereavement time.
Okay.
what's that?
I took that out because we're giving 13 days of paid time off.
So you eliminated bereavement altogether?
I eliminated the bereavement.
What?
I don't
Okay, let's put that back in. That's, yeah,
Does that bereavement time take away from your accrued time?
Well, there's stipulations to that. You're not gonna, I'm not allowed to math.
Just so we know.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to clear it up ahead of time.
All right, keep it down, please. Okay, we have
So I'm off for
a motion. We have a
bereavement.
second.
I'm off mine.
So now we do a roll call.
Okay.
I still have a question.
Okay.
If you're off for the bereavement, And that eliminates your accrued time for that payment.
No, it should.
No, it shouldn't.
Okay, well, I just want to make sure that's understood.
Good question.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Sure it's understood, so should it happen, we know.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Heath.
Yes.
Ms. Harper. Yes. Mr. Kasanovich.
Yes.
Mr. Seibert.
Yes.
Mr. Tate.
Yeah.
After all that, yeah, I like her.
And Mr. Little.
Hello?
Mr. Little?
already answered
Oh,
it.
We couldn't
I didn't
hear.
hear you.
We couldn't hear.
Speak up. Some of us are.
Yeah, there's too much over there.
Thank you.
I'm not like
Couldn't
that.
hear.
Okay. Thank you, Eli.
What else you got, Eli?
That was it under the.
We're gonna update this page.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Jeff, you got anything?
On hold?
Yeah, oh,
Yeah. 119 Ross, still got weeds out front.
What's the street? What is it?
That's 119 Ross. 119 Ross.
Okay. Did you write that down?
is that the, where's that?
Where's this at?
That's up by Brian's place up there.
Oh, okay.
Standard steel, I see you got it down. Their stuff's still high on the road. Sorry about my voice. Lou, you was doing good in your yard and then you quit.
Jerry puts it up to the top.
I'm doing right now.
And the borough still needs the weeds and everything.
I whacked them all down, but I gotta
No,
break
I'm
them
talking
off.
about the borough itself. When we still had the guys. All these weeds and that.
Oh,
Still around the
okay.
borough, not the fire hall.
Okay,
The borough
sorry.
itself.
All right.
It's the second time I had to bring it up. And I called Patty about the building. You never sent that paper to her. She needs that paper so that building can be knocked out.
I went up and talked to the manager and he told me she wasn't home, I had to go to Beaver.
I talked to her and she never got one, so you're
Okay.
gonna send her that letter.
Because
Because
Pat
more
has a
people
copy
are
and I got a
complaining
copy.
about it, and
Okay.
it needs to be done. It's been over
It
3
will-
months.
It
All right,
will get
all right,
that.
is that it? Let's go, let's move on. What else you got?
That's it for old.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Jake?
I got two things. Where's our paper at, Pat? It disappeared. So the one thing I wanted to discuss was the garbage. We sent the garbage people a letter or something.
Telling them to inform the borough when they sent out those, I remember how we said it, how I said it, delinquency notices and whatnot.
I thought that after they got a letter that they might kind of start leaning in our direction a little bit, you know, start behaving a little more. They're not. They're still at their same games. My brother called me. He has currently got, I think, three or four properties that they're charging him for. All of them are under construction. All of them have their own waste removal set up on them. So they get rid, he's not using the garbage.
They wouldn't take his garbage.
They won't take his garbage. He's not trying to give them his garbage. He keeps getting these bills in the mail. I don't know how much he's up to, $400 or $500 by now. They said that in order for them to not bill him, that someone from council needs to contact them and tell them. So Lou contacted them and said, hey, this is what's going on. And they give him what'd they tell you?
They told me they'd take care of it.
They'd take care of it. Well, Jeremy called them right back up and said, hey, the president of council called you, everything should be on the up and up. They said, nope. Council said that every single house is getting charged, we're charging every house. So now they just completely ignored the fact that they just told him what to do. He did it, and now they still want paid. And he's just one person. My neighbor's another one who also is currently working on multiple houses in the borough. There's a guy right up the street from me who's also working on a house.
So all these houses, like what your brother Jeremy and the other folks are doing, are unoccupied?
Yes, and
Okay,
because
hang on a
they're in
second.
his name.
Now, the houses he's talking about, there's one up on High Street Extension. No, High Street. And the other one's on Rock. They said you have to pay. He says, well, you're not, can I put my waste out? The stuff that he's using, no, we won't take that stuff. but you still have to pay. So now he's got somebody that moved in on High Street. They won't take her garbage until he pays
all of the other
money.
Oh my goodness.
This is a major problem.
They're difficult. They are very difficult.
So they want like $400 out of them or something like that, just so they can start taking the ladies' garbage.
They're treating it like it's a utility bill, not a utility, they're treating it like it's a water or sewer bill that travels with the land, when it isn't really. Can you send me a detailed email with laying this all out?
Sure.
And put the various property, not just Jeremy's, of course, but
Yeah.
anybody else you're aware of, and I'll contact them. I don't know if that's enough to break the contract. I'll be just speak out about it.
But that's just one simple.
But this sure as heck does not bode well for any renewal of it. I mean, not if you're kind of making up the rules as you go. Not if, I mean, that's really, in particular, he gets an occupant in there. You won't pick hers up because you're saying Jeremy still owes you some money. Again,
They did that to me too.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. I had a house sitting empty for 3 or 4 months. I had to pay them that before they would start taking it.
Yeah. Send it to me.
Okay.
And I'll give my attention next week.
Yeah, see what you can do on that. And then another thing that I wanted to bring up about garbage, I've got a lot of questions about this whole pay for January, February, March thing. And everybody's worried that if they pay and something happens, like they decide that they don't want to continue our contract, or we don't want to continue the contract with them, they're going to be out that money.
Well, right now, I think I'd respond to that. What I'd say to you is that, we're in the middle of November. The contract was, for how many years was that? 3. And this is our first year, right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, so I don't think the contract's going to be changed for the upcoming year, okay, at this point. So I don't think anybody's in danger. If you paid ahead, like January, February, you're going to be using it. The question is, how what are the circumstances? Because we can get them to change their attitude different from what they did to your dad and these other people. But for those that are just where there's not a delinquency issue that you've paid ahead, I think you're okay. I mean, I can't see this changing between now and then. We don't have anybody else right now.
Well, we talked about it before, I don't know, a meeting or two ago, of getting rid of them and, contacting Valley Waste and seeing if they would continue to match what we had going on now. And if they were willing to do that, potentially getting out of Aiken. I've never heard of more complaints with a garbage company.
Neither have I. Usually there's not complaints.
It's like, it's nonstop. Every week I deal with it, the mayor deals with it. I'm sure you guys have all dealt with it as well. Everybody has questions
I get
about
calls continuously.
This letter that they sent out, when I got mine, it said that the borough council approved the early billing. I don't ever remember us doing.
We never approved early billing. What that letter that you sent to them is basically you guys are charging for garbage
that you
didn't pick up. And they took that as, we want you, they kind of turned it around and made it our fault. They told everybody the reason that we're doing this now is because we wanted them to. This table wanted them to do that.
Yeah, I didn't know if that come out of your letter or not, that's what I was gonna ask you.
Yeah, and
Here's the letter. I brought mine.
Yeah, basically, all you said was that council had to be noticed and you wanted the the people to be notified at least 30 days in advance.
Because that's in the contract.
Yes, and now it's early billing because
They blamed it on you, Joe.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Whenever I
they
call.
Then I got a reason to really get ticked off of these people now. Right?
Yeah.
I've been ticked off on them for years.
Real quick, Teresa has a question.
We were talking about the billing, and one of the problems I had with Aiken was we get paid at the end of the month because my husband's retired. So I would send them the bill, and I know they got it within the first week of the month, and they wouldn't cash that check for 2 more weeks. So then they'd say to me, you didn't pay your bill, and they wouldn't pick up my garbage for those 2 weeks until the you know, they got caught up, so they're way behind in.
And then you never got refunded any money of not getting picked up.
No,
Yeah,
no.
that's another major problem.
Yeah.
If
They
you're not,
did
if
that
you're
to
gonna
us,
shut
too.
people's service off,
Yeah, but the checks.
and you
weren't
already
delivered,
paid.
so-
Can you send me?
That was the issue I had earlier on with that guy.
Yeah, I have.
They did that to
I'll
us,
send
Jake.
you.
We gotta turn our cameras off.
They did that to us too. And we said, we did pay.
Can we keep it
And then
down?
they checked,
My
and they said,
ears
"Oh, yes,
are
you
plugged
did."
up tonight and I'm having
And I said,
trouble
"Well,
hearing what's
we
going
sent
on here
someone
at the
to
table.
Take the garbage out. She said, you have to wait till next week. Remember Wendy?
Yeah.
So we had to wait till the following week.
And that's something that I think we should kind of decide what we should do. Is there anything that we can do? Do you want to send them another letter?
I'm gonna have to. And this says, well, it doesn't mention me, but they say request the council. Council, you guys never said anything through me or individually.
No.
Nobody at this table. So that is a total misinterpretation of what the heck was said in that letter.
And the sad part is I've reached out to them.
I'm not leaving it out.
Can we keep it down, please? Okay, go ahead, Jake.
I reached out to them, and I was extremely nice to them on the phone with my concern. They were extremely rude. Threw it right back in my face. You guys decided this. We never decided, and whatever it was. Michelle also had the same issue, and I don't know if any other councilmen have reached out to them. But they are nasty on the phone.
They are. I talked to them and I said, when they blamed it on you, Joe, I said, well, if he sent you a letter, that's because we were being billed. We were being billed and we weren't getting our trash picked up. We weren't being billed.
You're being billed and not having your trash.
We weren't being billed and not getting our trash picked up. That was the problem. Because we didn't pay because we didn't get a bill. Well, you know, we have to pay the dump when we take the garbage out. So you have to pay us. I said, well, you didn't take over 100 of our garbage, 100 residents' garbage the one week. And so that means you didn't have to pay for that garbage. So are you going to refund the money? That doesn't work that way.
That was 4th of July week.
And then I paid.
Thank you.
And they still didn't pick it up the following week. When I called, they said, well, it just didn't get here in time. Well, I paid a week ago. And I said, well, are you going to send somebody out to pick it up? They'll be out next Monday.
Yep.
Another
Happened
one.
to me too, Bob, same thing.
When we had this meeting.
That's theft, if you ask me.
And that guy was sitting right there. I said, do you guys have a small truck to reach the people who cannot, you can't get your big truck to? Yeah, we got a small truck and we can bring that down here, blah, blah, blah. My garbage still has to be taken to the end of the street now. So where I live, I'm gonna say it's a solid, what would
block?
It's a block or more. Because they refused to come back to my house because they told me that they're not going to bring their little truck out for something for just a couple people.
It was BS then when he told you that.
That was pure BS. But that's just more ammo.
I think I remember you asking that.
Yeah. The only reason I asked is because I had this problem before.
Yeah.
My wife is the one that usually takes the garbage out. I work late, whatever. She wants to get the stuff out, she can. And it's a real pain in the butt for her. So I figure I'd try to make her life a little bit easier, see if they'll do that. I only know that garbage companies do this because I worked for a garbage company and I did it. That was one of my jobs, to run the little truck around to hit the areas that were hard to hit.
And Youngs and Valley both always came around with smaller trucks and.
But that's something that if you can, reach out to them again.
Give me that email and I will.
Okay.
Yeah. And I will send you that letter.
Yeah.
And just to add on that, I get the calls from the people that only live here for 3 or 4 months in the summer. And but their homes are vacant for 8 or 9 months. They are really, really upset.
So, what do you want me to put on? What all do you want me to put in this email?
What customers are affected, and what you just told me in your own words in the last couple of minutes here.
All issues.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then if any of you guys have any issues that you would like me to put in the email, I will.
What about what the mayor just said?
Yes, I'll give him
Because
that.
they called me too.
Is that in our contract?
I don't
Is that
remember off the top of my head. I don't have the contract with
No,
me.
That's
our
considered-
contract basically says that every citizen in the borough has
Every
to
resident.
subscribe. Every resident has to subscribe to.
Are you a resident if you are currently living in Florida?
Well, here's
You have an empty
okay.
house here.
She's right, and it's commonplace to have a franchise or contract with a garbage refuse collector, and everybody, whether it's West Mayfield, wherever the heck it is, Beaver where I live, you gotta use that guy.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
all right.
fine.
Now, this is an entirely different issue than, and it may not be addressed in the contract, so I'll have to look at it. What do you do if you have a residential structure where the occupants are only there, like you just said, 3 or 4 months out of the year? Now, obviously, they're gonna have to, there should be some provision for that, and just as obviously, the whoever that is probably should, we have to say you have to contact the garbage pickup company to let them know when you're gonna be there, when you're not gonna be there. And we'll see if they, frankly.
Let me tell you what they're gonna say.
They're gonna say. Yes.
Right, which they have, but you know what, they do, they live in Florida. They have this up here for summers. They vote
But
in Florida.
But
They
it's
get-
not a question of
I know.
where your legal residence is. It's a question of, okay, you have a residence in West Mayfield. When are you there? When do you need garbage pickup? If you're there, if you're not there the majority of the time, or even if it's 50-50, what difference does it make?
Yeah.
You know,
Why don't we do something like this? If you wanna prove it, you prove it to me. I'm on finance and litigation. If a resident out here has an issue, they say, hey, I'm gonna be leaving for 6 months, I do not need garbage pickup. They approve it through me, I contact them and say, hey, the council approved this, shut up that, because every time we call them, they say, it needs to be council approval. We'll approve it as long as it's council approval. But every time I contact them, they're like, no.
they're nickel and diming us.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and the response you get from them is, well, we don't know that they left, and we assume that they're there, and if we say they're not there, or they say they're not there, we don't know if they're putting their garbage to their neighbors.
That is speculation you can't justify or rely upon.
I know that, but that's what they said.
Well,
That's
that's
what
why,
they
maybe
told me
that's why we're gonna
numbers
end up having to terminate the contract. I'll phrase it in such a way, if they say that's their policy, then I may have to tell them that's a policy council cannot tolerate, and therefore your contract's gonna be
They've told me
terminated.
that several times when this whole thing started. Well, we don't know. He's not putting it
You know,
out.
there's
He's
a
putting it
certain
in his
amount,
neighbor's garbage.
certain amount of trust. If we tell the residents, let us know when you're gonna be there, when you're not gonna be there.
I agree.
Yes.
Okay, and they tell you, I'm only gonna be there 4 months this year, Jake. Okay, and here's the 4 months I'm gonna be there, here's what I need. We email them and say, for Joe Budasak and his wife at this address, these are the only 4 months you need to pick up.
Don't notify
It is not acceptable response to say, well, how do we know the rest of the time Joe's not giving us, putting his stuff elsewhere? You don't know, but you have no reason to rely upon that either, to base that.
There's another
So-
way, You get it, do you still get the printouts from the water company? Who has water turned
Sure.
on and off?
Yes.
That will tell you if they're living there, if the water's
Yes.
shut off, they shouldn't have to pay for their garbage.
Well, they might not shut the water off, number one, and number
Well,
two. I don't think we need, there's no justification to get that deep into this.
Right. No, it should be a simple, Councilman Tate said,
Right.
this guy's not gonna be here for this month or this month. But what about the 2-can limit? I wanna bring that up. Did they discuss what size cans you could use for a 2-can limit?
Yeah, they had it. They did. Forget what size it was.
It was a good size.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good size.
And that might be something that we might wanna look into as well. If that can get the price back down. Because I only use, we use a lot of garbage, but I have 2 really big cans.
I think you
That's
got to use
2
their can for that.
They had the rental though. They had the regular
Yeah.
and then they had the rental. You could use your 2 cans or you can rent their cans.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to check on the size.
Yeah.
Do we don't even want that.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
We don't. Would you guys be okay if I start looking into Plan B as a backup? Is that something I can do?
Yeah, I agree.
So call around and
Yeah.
see if I can get some prices
Just
on
in
that
case.
stuff.
Just in case.
And you should get a dumpster for back here too.
Okay.
We're not making any decisions about that tonight, but we're just
Just
investigating the possibilities.
Yeah.
Okay, so look into it.
What do we do with the trash back here now?
Goes to the fire hall.
Is yours always full?
Sometimes we've had to stomp it down.
Depends on rentals.
Yeah,
Depends on the
depends on
rentals
the
and-
rentals.
Like in the summer, it's fuller than it is in the winter and stuff like
That would
that.
seem like a waste of money if we got a dumpster here, if it fits in that one.
Right, I mean, that can't imagine.
We're trying to save money here.
We'll look into it, we'll see if we can, even if it's something small, or if they'll just pick up here, and they'll just add us to the,
No, they'll charge us.
they'll charge. Well, that's gonna be cheaper than getting a dumpster.
$66 or $69 every 3 months.
$100 a month, $23 a month.
I'll look into it, I'll see what they can do,
Yeah, check.
see if there are any incentives or anything like that. Then the other thing that I had on here was the employment, we'll bring that up at the end. So, that's good, good for me for now.
Okay, that's it?
That's it.
All right, now parks.
Parks is ordinances, or ordinances, oh, you already went to Jeff.
Yeah.
Okay, so parks, we had, Rochester Paving down there, they did, the resurfacing at the basketball court / future pickleball court. That is done. We did run into an issue though. It's not an issue, but it's an issue. We could have them paint it right now for that cost. But they said it would be smart to have that whole entire thing resealed. That'll make it last longer, make it look better, whatever. So he brought up the idea of maybe using us for advertisement and cutting half the cost of the ceiling, which takes us to $400, but that'll be a next year
He
project.
said 900 to 1,000, but then he says probably around 450. And he would cover the labor, we would pay the 450 for the materials, and he just wants to put a sign on our new fence that we put out.
Which I think
great.
that's more than fair and that's
Yeah.
super cheap, but
Yes.
I don't wanna have them paint it now, then reseal it and then paint it again. So if you guys are okay with that, we'll pay them for what they did now, but I'm also gonna pay for the paint now.
Mhm.
And then that'll just roll over into next year, so that when they do that, that's only gonna be the 450
Yeah.
or whatever we work out with them, and then it'll just be done.
Yeah, it's great.
You guys okay with
Yep,
that?
I am. You guys okay?
Saving money.
Yep, sounds good, Jake.
Okay, so that's
Don't do that, that's fantastic.
And then we're gonna go with Jeff Urban for the fencing. He is 5-6 weeks out. They're gonna squeeze us in by the end of the year. That is a top of the line fence with everything. That's with the wire, the extra bar going across. It'll last longer than anything else. He came in at the cheapest. The other guy wanted 14,000. That was the next cheapest for all of the same stuff. This guy's gonna do it for 12,500, 12,590. So we have the money for it. We're gonna use it. And that'll be done by the end of this year. So we're on track for that. Pat messaged me a couple days ago about this whole, we're not talking about the budget now. I'll bring that up. Just put me on the list for new business for Parks and Recreation.
Okay.
It'll be a brief thing, but yeah, that's it.
All right. Okay, I'm next, right? Pat,
Well, thank you.
I'm next,
Yeah.
right? Okay. I'll now review the budget, proposal for the budget. We go over that.
I gave everybody 2 different copies. I gave one that shows the comparison between this year and last year. And then the other one is just strictly this year, which it's the same as on there, but
Yes. So, where's mine at? I was gonna bring that up on the new business, but because we're talking about it now,
I think that's the way to do it, rather
Yes.
than,
where's my stuff at, Pat? Parks and Recreation. That's number 9.
it's probably on the last page.
So mine, total Parks and Recreation. We added 5,000 to it, which took us up to 25,000. I am gonna give back 10,000 and cross my fingers and hope that gets me through the year. So there's my 10 grand.
So you're taking it down to 15,
I'm taking it down to 15,000.
15 instead of 20, 26.
And I'm only keeping it that high because I don't know what's going on with the grass cutting thing and who's taking over everything. It very well could be cheaper, but if it's not, we're still covered.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So he's going down.
That's on page 5.
Yeah. And I am not accepting a raise in salary for next year. I'll give that back.
Thank you.
Page was
What?
you. What page were you on?
Page 5, oh, that's, I didn't get there yet.
Page
I
2.
think I'm on page 2.
Thank you.
When does that bring
So
us down?
mine will stay the same as it was last year if you look on the comparison page. So,
And since we're so far over trying to make budget, we don't have to do a sewer lining.
you already gave back 10,000.
Yeah, you get back 10.
But we're still $100,000 over budget.
What I'm worried about, and if you look at the financial report from this month, we're already, we're like down, last year we were over 600,000. Now we're down into 5. And if we're 100,000 over budget, that's gonna drop us down to 4. We don't wanna lose all our cushion. What if we have something go on like the culvert and we have an emergency, we've gotta have a cushion
Yes.
in our bank account. And that's the only reason I'm bringing this up is, I just don't want us to have to take out a loan to get something done. We have that cushion, I'd like to just hang on to it.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Bill, you were saying about the lining, if we did get that small water grant coming through,
Yeah,
that doesn't have to come out of
I
this
understand.
budget.
And that's what I'm saying. We could probably take another 10 out of this.
Yeah.
Because the good news is because we've been doing linings and stuff like that, the issues are slowing down.
Yeah.
I think that's why they're slowing down because we're handling some of the issues. But there's still issues showing up out there. It's an old antiquated system. The more we line, the better things are gonna be. But with the budget being like it is, we don't have to do that.
Let's drop that.
I know we took out 10, you can take another 10 out.
Okay. And, some of the things we just can't. Some things just go up in cost.
And if you have to do it, you have to do it.
Yeah.
We don't have to line, we just
And
may
I
have
mean,
to
this way.
clean more often.
Yeah, this way we'll have a cushion and it won't be so bad. Jake, thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
And Bill, thank you for that too. And I don't really think that there's too many other places that we can actually,
We're nickel and diamond on most of this stuff.
right. But that'll at least help, that gives us another, and that takes us under 100,000 over, so.
It'll help, and then especially if we can squeeze
But
any
we gotta watch,
grants out.
because like we said at the budget meeting, if we continue to not make budget,
Yeah.
the state's gonna come in and wanna know what's going on, they're gonna sit down and basically, they're gonna tell you, you're either gonna make budget or raise taxes.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're gonna
That's
do.
what they're gonna tell you. So we keep trying to spend this money. It's great. I like doing it.
Yeah, and I think.
But I really don't wanna raise taxes, but we're out to do one or the other.
I think there is gonna come a time that's gonna have to happen, because there,
The cost of everything's
But
going
The cost
up.
of
for $100,000, how many mills would that be? That's like 8 mills?
yeah,
That's pretty good rate.
yeah.
You have a lot of houses up for sale.
When do we find out what the raise is gonna be?
The taxes,
Yes.
I think sometime this month, aren't
Yeah,
we
I
supposed
wanna
to
say-
get?
15, 17, something like that.
Yeah, sometime in the middle of
Pretty soon.
this month.
Now, that's for the 2024 period, correct?
Yes.
That's extra income coming in, if it does.
If it does, they'll give us our millage, and then, we'll know where to go from there.
And remember, because whatever the millages they give her, your overall revenue can't go up by more than 10%.
Right.
Yes.
From 2023.
So if we have it at 150,000, it can't go up more than 10% of that 150,000. And when we budgeted, Joe, we just left it the same, just to play it safe. We kept it at that 150,000. And if we get more than that, it's a bonus. And that'll help. So. I mean, I went crazy trying to just, because we're down on our cable, people were getting rid of cable because they've had it with Comcast. And, it's just some things we don't get the same amount of revenue coming in that we used to
Do we have to have cable phone and internet here?
in the borough building.
Yes.
The only thing we have here is phone and internet. The cable was just part of the
Okay.
bundle.
Yes.
It was part of the bundle. They wouldn't take it off the bundle. I
Right.
tried to get it off the bundle.
I know, I went through
You
the
know.
same thing.
So, and it's gonna be the same this year. I think it's like in January, because we have a 2-year contract. So in January, I always call them like December and try to get a better bundle.
Well, what I'm wondering is, how much internet is used here?
I don't use any.
We do off and online.
What I'm wondering is if it would be wiser to just go out and get a dedicated phone for here with a plan so that they can make phone calls from here and then use the internet from this phone if they would ever need it, which I don't think they're going to. But now you go from paying, I don't know what you're paying now, but I mean.
Oh, it's like 200 and something.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to have a
VA1
fax
calls
line.
and-
Well, I have my phone, I get all my faxes directly to my phone, and I can also send faxes from this phone. So it's just a matter of teaching the new guy.
How much you have to pay for that phone?
So you don't have to get the best phone, but so this phone here was given to me from Verizon.
Okay.
Verizon gave me this phone. This phone plan is $100, and it is just about unlimited everything. Now, because we have emergency management here and all that other stuff, they also have multiple SIM, and you get the emergency response discount, which brings you from $100 to like $65. So if you tie those two plans together, now you've got emergency management and a borough phone. So if anything would happen, you could still operate with this phone. So that's just something to look into. If it saves, it's not much, but $50 a month. If it saves you $100 a month,
How much you pay a month?
that's $1,200 a year. You just
200.
saved.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Very rarely did I ever use this phone here. I always picked my phone up and called people, you know?
do too.
What's my bill this month?
Pat, I won't need a raise this year.
Okay, thank you.
All right,
I kept it the same anyway.
I figured that.
I mean, I didn't keep I included your raise, but,
Surprised you weren't getting one.
but no, we're okay. Yeah, we're paying like $213 a month.
But you're,
I could
what was
easily
yours?
get that down
165?
in half. I could cut half of that off.
But you have to pay for the phone.
No. The phone is free. They want you in these plans.
Okay.
You're not gonna get the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra gazillion whatever. But we don't need this fancy picture taker. They're giving away free iPhones right now.
Oh, I know.
Wow.
They're giving away the titanium.
But like I said, if you get enrolled in that emergency response thing up there, you're gonna get one of these phones, only it's gonna be like super beefed up. I wish I could get one because they're so heavy duty. I cannot get it because I'm not a volunteer fireman or a police officer or whatever. So you're gonna get a much heavier duty phone for free.
Oh, that'd be me. Wow, I didn't know that.
And that's another thing too, like the whole fax thing. They bring the PA1 calls through the fax. You can get that right on the email. Everything that you need is right here. All of my PA1 comes right into my Gmail.
Oh, you wanna come on now?
And it's nice because if I do, let's say that Brian's out and about, right? And he's like, shoot, I left the PA1 call paper and I didn't print it out or whatever. All he's got to do is go to his the email address, the borough email account, and I'm sure I've got one right here somewhere. We do a ton of PA1 calls. Right here, bam. Everything is right there. That's your whole PA1 call.
Yeah, somebody wanted.
Then they also have the PA1 call app. So rather than you doing the faxes and all that other stuff, you just go right to the app, which I don't know if I have it on this thing. It's on my business phone. I may have it. They have a PA1 app, which is super nice because now it just brings up the map. And then you zoom in on the street where you're working and you need a PA1 call and you push and hold it, it pinpoints it. It puts all the stuff in there and then it asks you your questions. What's the proposed excavation of depth or whatever? 12 inches. And it's simple. You just type it in and hit enter. And it goes, you don't have to make a phone call or nothing anymore. So this, it's super handy. So you're paying less, but getting a whole lot more features. It's very simple to learn too.
Has to be for me.
If you guys want, I guess I can make some phone calls and see what prices I can get on plans for that.
Yeah.
Be great.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, phone plans. Or phone plan.
I think, Eli, are there any internet things we need for emergency management?
I'm certain there is, especially if you're using the computer.
No, the computer really don't tie into them.
Used to be called Knowledge Center, but what's it?
Yeah, it used to be called the Knowledge Center,
Yeah,
and now
the
it's something
new-
else called.
The new one to go to FEMA.
Yeah. Alright, we'll have to look at that. Alright, that's fine.
But if you do need the internet,
Probably
it's,
hotspot it.
It's on the phone.
yeah, it's that simple. I just swipe down and I click mobile hotspot right there. Everybody in here just now has my internet. It's turning off. Yeah, so it's like Stacy worked for me.
Thank you.
So whenever we go on vacation and she's supposed to be logged into her computer, I'll ride the whole way down to Florida while she's making money.
And
But she
takes the
can,
garbage out.
she can do all that stuff, yeah.
Alright, so where are we at?
Okay. You done with the budget?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. What we need to do is we need to approve the preliminary budget with the changes that were discussed. And,
I'll make the motion to approve
Made the
the changes.
motion.
I'll second it.
Judge, second, all those in favor say aye. Opposed?
okay, and then this will have to be advertised, I believe it's 10 business days prior to the next
It's
meeting.
10 business, I think it's 10 days. I don't know.
10 days, I would assume it's business days, but who knows? But I'll make sure I put it in the, and is it okay if Kevin puts it on the website?
Oh, sure, of course, of course.
Okay. Yeah, I will type up the new preliminary budget with changes and I'll get it to you to go ahead and post on the website. And that way, besides me putting it in the paper and saying the residents can come and look at the preliminary budget,
But
it'll
I had
be
something
there
for the
on the.
budget.
Okay. Oh, you have something?
Well, yeah, he forgot me.
No, I'm not done yet.
Oh,
We
good.
were just talking about the budget.
Yeah.
After that.
Yeah, okay,
Budget, huh?
Okay, well, that was on my list.
okay.
Well, can I just add it?
Yeah, just go
Okay.
ahead.
Eli, I just have a question for you. Do you go to COG meetings? Or did West Mayfield quit going?
We quit going because COG charges us a pretty steep fee.
Okay, I think it's 100 a month. What?
And we were getting nothing for it.
Yeah,
We were getting no gain out of it.
They had no
Every time we asked for
offers,
help, they-
nothing. Every time we asked them for something, they couldn't do it. That's why we do everything like through co-stars for our,
Okay, I was just learning about this.
yeah.
But I understand they were putting you into Beaver County to get salt, slag, and all these other things.
Yeah, we do that.
COG sent out to their members to collect and send out a bid. CoStarz was cheaper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is
And
why
we can get those rates from the vendors for the rock and everything else without paying the COG money.
and
It was
it
truly
kept
no
going up
benefit.
every year. It was almost like $600 for us really not getting anything that was helpful to us.
Okay. That was just a question, so
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. But I know you're up on all these
Yeah.
current meetings. Thank you.
Okay. That's it for the budget.
Okay, that's it for the budget, okay. Okay, we already discussed the other thing I was bringing up, so that's taken care of. So now we can move on. Now, Mayor.
That's it. I'm on the next list, the new list.
Oh, okay, nothing on old business then?
Nope.
Okay, Mayor, do you have anything on old business?
Yeah, just one thing. You guys voted last month to make a change to the ordinance that dealt with paying council people that missed a meeting. And Pat gave me the information on which ordinance it was. I still want to tell you what I prepared. I need to advertise for next meeting so we can pass it. And this basically says it's ordinance 220.01. The provision in there that stated no compensation shall be paid in any month to any councilman who has failed to attend at least one regular meeting of council for that month. I'm rescinding that entirely. But another thing that I'm doing in there, Pat picked up on this right away, and I saw it too. In that same ordinance, it says regular meetings of council shall be held on the second Monday of each month. Well, that's not true anymore, number one. Number two, you don't want to be penned in. You have your meeting scheduled by an ordinance, because every time you want to change it, you got to change the ordinance. So what I just put in here is that we're also changing that section, say all required regular monthly business meetings of council shall be in such dates and times as council shall determine by resolution. You can change the son of a gun as much as you want then. That's okay with you guys, right?
Yes.
I'll go ahead and advertise it.
Okay.
You already voted on it, in the final form, I just wanted your, okay.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Joe, you want to bring up about the sign, what you're doing about, that would be under old business.
Yeah, Bob talked to me, we were working together on getting a letter to a property owner that has that, well, I can bring it up, that sign that, what's the business again?
Windows and gutter
Windows.
cleaning.
And I gave Bob a proposed letter to send to that property owner, advising her to have that sign removed. And I said, give her 10 days, okay? There's nothing in the ordinance specifically about that. But that ordinance may need a little bit of revision too. I think that's what you're talking about there. Maybe a little tightening up. We haven't done anything specific yet on it, but is that what you mean, Bob?
Yeah, because the mayor was asking me about the signs, and I figured that's, you could let them know what's going on with that.
Yeah, so it's not bad.
No.
But, the sign ordinance, it's part of your zoning ordinance right now, but could use a little clarification maybe.
We need these.
And that's probably gonna lead to something going on with a pizza shop too.
Yeah, well.
But we're not gonna worry about that right now, we're just gonna deal with him.
Right. Which will lead to that.
see what happens.
Good.
That it, Joe?
Yes, sir.
Chief, do you have anything?
I do not.
Bob?
Oh, as a matter of fact, I do.
Okay.
Okay. Number one, when I drive down the alley here, behind the fire department, almost everybody on the right side of the alley has weeds, high weeds, bushes. They don't care to do anything beyond their fence. How much are they liable to take care of? Because from the alley to the fence, maybe 6-8 feet, and it's all overgrown. Shouldn't the homeowner, is the homeowner in charge of keeping, is that their yard or is that borough property?
You asking me?
I'm asking Lou.
I'm
Anybody?
asking Joe.
So you're, explain that again, Bob.
Okay, when I drive down any alley,
Yeah.
people put up a fence, a stockade fence, a chain link fence. Everything inside the fence may be nice and clean. They don't do anything on the outside. A lot of the borough.
Okay, that's their responsibility.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can start.
Yeah, even if, I mean, you're responsible for where your property boundaries are. Now, part of your property may be subject to public use. I mean, where I live, on 2nd Street in Beaver, I got a sidewalk in front of my house. You know, my property line goes out that, somewhere out in the middle of, not in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere out in Second Street there. I'm still responsible for that sidewalk, to keep it clean,
Okay, that's what I
when the
thought.
curb went to, crumbled, I had to pay to replace it.
Yep.
Okay, and somebody might say, well, you know, that's part of the public use, and that's true, but I'm still obligated to do that under the law because it is my property, even though a small portion, the public has the right to go up, walk up and down the sidewalk.
Right, and that's what I thought.
This is no different. This is no different.
I just wanted clarification on that before I start.
I mean, you can't just say, I'm gonna put a fence up, I'm putting it so real close to my house and everything between the fence and the street, I can.
They own to the street. They're liable to the street.
Yeah, to their boundary line.
If we can start getting people to clean up that kind of stuff, we won't need the boom mower as much because it's going to be hard to keep track of all that. But anyways, yeah, I wanted to find that out. We've been getting a lot of cars towed and places cleaned up. And so what I decided, me and Tina were talking about this, that once we do this, now she made up a letter. It says it has West Mayfield, a nice place to live, established 1923 at the top. And then it has the date, and then like this one, I'm just going to tell you about this one to see where we're going with this. Mr. Stuck, 3606 West 3rd Street, Beaver Falls. Dear Mr. Stuck, on behalf of the West Mayfield Borough, we extend our appreciation and sincerest thank you for your efforts in removal of the weed growth on your property. The borough has a responsibility to assure that ordinances are enacted for the protection of life and property and for the general appearance of the borough, followed by property owners in accordance with the desires of the residents of the community. High weed growth becomes a fire danger during summer months and detracts from the general appearance of the borough. Your continuing efforts in removing weed growth are important to your neighbors and fellow citizens. If we can be any assistance, blah, blah, blah. So I figure if we send these letters out to the people that have complied, maybe they'll, keep it up.
It's a nice reminder.
Yeah.
So,
that's nice.
anyways, Tina figured that one out. She wrote that one out.
Good, thank you.
Standard Steel was not happy. I talked to Gene down there, and he said, well, for 100 years, we've been here. We've never had any problems with anything like that. And, we donate. We hire people from the borough. We donate to whatever. And he's a little irate whenever I told him about his weeds down there that I was told about. So I just wanted to let you know.
Where's that Standard Steel?
Standard Steel, yeah. The guy down on Mike Saravallo that wants to put the training facility in. This is beyond Joe. This is beyond me because it's industrial. This is not the stuff we deal with. So we turned it over to Widmer called me today. They said, that's beyond us. You better go to CodeSys or whoever we use. I think we use CodeSys, right?
Yeah.
So I got a call into CodeSys. I didn't get to call him till today because the engineer didn't call me back till today. So hopefully, I'll find out what's going on with that so we can really hoping to get these people in.
So you guys know, I mean, the people trying to put this project in, they have, I'll call him an architect, building designer, up in Pittsburgh. I think the guy's last name was Stevenson, if I remember correctly. And when he called me, I said, well, send me what you have. And he sent me, he asked about the zoning. I can answer the question on zoning. There's 2-3 pages in the email dealing with specifications. And frankly, some of it, I'm going to be candid here, bothered me. Because he said because of the size of the building, they required the sprinkler system. The sprinkler system could kill the project because of the cost.
Right.
He goes, if we change it to this type of building, and here's some technical information, which has spectators there, we don't need a sprinkler system. That seemed counterintuitive to me. You're going to put people in as spectators and you don't need a sprinkler system?
Yeah, it didn't make any sense.
So I sent him the letter, and I looked at it a couple times, and he was calling me. I wanted to feel sure of myself. So I told him, I said, this is something, we'll pass it on to the borough engineer, but you're getting, I don't even know why he thought I could help him with that, because it's a technical thing, or maybe, quite frankly, he just thought, if I get the solicitor to give the seal of approval, then we're covered. And we don't have to worry about anything else. But I told him no, and now that makes me laugh. Bob says that Wimber even said they had to pass the buck too. It's very technical, and it just bothered me. And I said that to him too in the letter. It concerns me because that this doesn't seem to make sense to me. Which he didn't. All he said was thanks for your time. He never commented on that.
If I may, I used to design fire sprinkler systems for Simplex Grinnell. There's 2 hospitals in the Harrisburg area that I designed the fire sprinkler system for. The NFPA standard, based on the occupancy of the building, what it's designed for, determines sprinkler code. If it was new construction, code systems would probably say, yeah, you're probably going to have to put a sprinkler in it. This is an old building that's changed hands a few times, and nothing was required to sprinkle. We had a soap factory that was full of alcohol products. Lots of highly flammable stuff in the soap factory. Now it's a pizza oven. There's no sprinklers in that. I don't think there's a building that's sprinklered in the borough.
Well, code systems, okay, I'm fine with it. I think Bob probably would.
Code systems, yeah, this is a revision of an existing building. Yeah, I'm not sure what kind of engineering they're doing inside. Their architect is one thing, but what kind of engineering is going on that would require code systems engineer to
Nothing.
review?
Because he said all they're going to do is put down turf,
right?
Hang nets,
right?
Hang foam.
This is just like repurposing the soap factory into the pizza oven.
So if you guys tell me it's okay, I will sign off on it. But I need somebody to say.
we have no.
I'd love to see this guy get in, but
yeah, we have no sprinkler ordinance in the borough. Yeah, again, if it was a new construction, then you need the authority having jurisdiction, the state fire marshal, to sign off on the sprinkler design.
You might be able to answer this. What are the repercussions if we do agree to it and something happens and they come back and say, well, you should have had a sprinkler system? Who gets in trouble for that?
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. There's absolutely no liability on us.
If the building...
There's no liability on us, I say go for it.
We don't have a law.
I can't sit here and say there couldn't be any liability on you.
Yeah, they could always try and sue us.
Because, they're saying they're required, under certain circumstances, under what they call the International Building Code. Okay?
Yes.
That they may be required to have a sprinkler system.
Okay.
As to this type of building, A-3. But if we're A4, I'm sitting there at my desk going, one name of heaven is an A4. How would I know that? Okay. Because I don't have any of the definitions or anything in front of me. and he gave me some detail, not that much.
I have the letter.
And
Yeah.
technically, our borough ordinance that adopted building codes was from the 1950s or the
Yeah.
1960s. So our building code, per our ordinance, is to whatever it was when we adopted it. We've never updated.
You know, I knew Whitmer was your engineer, that's why I think I told, when I sent the letter to, really, letter by email to that gentleman. That's why I said we'll pass it on. I mean, I would still advise you guys to have a code assist to take a look at it. It's not just a matter of liability, it's a matter, you don't want somebody getting hurt if it could have been avoided.
Right.
So,
This guy's paying money for that building and then finds out.
and we could ask code assist, tell them we're favorable to the project if this can otherwise be legitimately done.
As long as they don't have to come in to inspect anything for them, but I just don't know. I just don't know if they have to have any kind of special permits for dealing with what they're dealing with. Like if, say you have a daycare center. There's a lot of different permitting and different stuff you gotta go through. I don't know if he has to do anything like that for what he's doing. Which, if he doesn't, then he's good. But if he does, and then they come in and say, yeah, you have to put a sprinkler system in before, I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would say just.
I'll put it on code system. Okay, that's good.
And we can ask them, they can give it their prompt attention.
And when, to remind code systems that there are, when did AJ move into his building in that neighborhood?
Couple years
What
ago.
was in it before he took?
John Seuss, my husband owned it.
John Seuss had it, no, that was across the street.
Wasn't there a system in that?
That used to be part of BMW years ago.
What was it,
Like
Pig
the
something?
machine shop.
Pure, Corianos had it, Nick Corianos.
Corianos, yeah, Jeff Corianos
Had
right?
the engineering in there, and then he sold it to my husband.
When it was a maintenance building, I thought they
That
had a
was
sprinkler
the,
system in there.
That's industrial
wood
and
shop.
gone long ago.
Yeah.
I understand that,
Yeah.
I'm just
That was
asking.
B&W wood shop.
Yeah, I
I'd
thought there was
imagine
one
the
in there.
mill would have had that with fire pump and everything
Yeah.
else that's required for it, but.
That was just a question.
Okay, so we'll go ahead with the code sys and not take up any more time with that.
That way they try to do something with that Christian school down there, you'll know too, because there's nothing in that building.
Well, all right, so the next thing is,
Asbestos.
I need to do an occupancy permit for a guy down here on Second Avenue, and he says, can we use the smoke and dye test from last year? But I told him I don't think so. Because we don't know what could have happened between then and now. And that's what Beaver Falls did to me when I bought a building down there. I said, oh, it was just done a year ago. Nope. So, all right, just want to make sure on that. And then, Kevin, can you post that picture online with our, all these realtors are calling me to find out what's 3710 3rd Avenue. What is that? How's it zoned? The zoning map is what I need.
Is that current?
What's that?
Is that current?
Yeah.
As far as I know.
Yeah.
Because then I gotta pull out my phone. I took pictures of it one day and I'm like trying to read all the little.
Oh, they're so small. I know I get phone calls. I have a huge magnifying glass that I use when people call me to see what the zoning is.
Yeah, I get calls at least once or
Yeah.
twice a month to find out how it's zoned so they know what they can do with it from realtors. So if it goes on with our permits or something, where would you put that?
Yeah.
I guess my question is, would there be an official version of that, like with the county?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is?
When we did it, it's right here's the copy of it.
Yeah.
Would they have a digital version of that?
I don't know if they have a digital version, but when you adopt zoning, you have to provide copy of the zoning ordinance and the zoning map. That's a separate requirement to the county. Okay.
Yeah.
Whether it's digital version or not, I don't know, but they would have it. You guys have had zoning for a while.
Yeah, Whitmer did it, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I could I could digitize that some way.
That's what Mr.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
That would save me from having to keep going into my phone and trying to figure it out.
And if it's on the website, anytime a resident has a question about where they live or whatever, it's right there.
It's Baker Engineering, not Wood.
Okay, that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Paul.
Yep.
All right, let's go to new business.
I'll make the motion to go to new business.
We don't need a motion.
You have me thinking for a minute there. All right, new business, Bill.
Nothing.
Wow. I was clearing my throat.
I have new business.
Okay, Wendy,
Nothing.
anything you've done, fire crews,
Nothing.
nothing?
Nothing.
Oh, this is going great.
Yeah.
Eli, buildings,
Okay, I'll be the jerk. I had a proposal that I had asked Bill to dump off one of the times this summer. Right around the time that Bob was gonna take over for code enforcement. My proposal was to offer to serve notices for ordinance violation as a constable, just like I do when I serve civil notice for the courts. The court statutory rate is $13 plus $2.50 for what's called return of service. So when I take a subpoena from the attorney to your house, I get $15.50. So council would tell me, here's the address, here's the violation, go do it.
Go get that money.
So then I go and I serve the notice. Typically, service either hand to hand or by posting a notice. I turn a report back to council saying, here, they've been notified. I follow back up in the week and check, kind of like what Bob's been doing with what Tina's been doing. Yeah, with the report.
He's doing it.
Right, but I'm just saying, make it a nice report.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same thing.
But yeah, that was what I was gonna offer to do. At $15.50
We
per,
got Bob doing there.
right,
So
right.
why would we need two people?
In lieu of having a code enforcement person, $15.50 per notice. If the person requires two notices, $15.50.
We're short of money as it is. Now you want to take money.
No, what I'm saying, in lieu of a code enforcement person, council decides this person is in violation of the borough ordinance, go notify them. I go notify them.
I think just keep it saying what it is. Bob keeps doing what he's doing. He's doing a good job too.
Just saying, I'll serve a notice for $15.50.
Okay, my question
Not,
is,
not as a salaried employee of the borough, I would be an independent contractor. You tell me, I go serve it, I do it, I submit my report. Acts as an invoice for the fee. If I do 20 notices a month, you're looking at just over $300.
Instead of nothing. What's your question?
Just saying, it was like,
Save money, basically.
yeah.
yeah, it's just, Bob needs to find out if he can hold that position as a council person.
Like I said, it was just something that
Yeah,
other constables are doing it.
right.
You guys are the ones that point out the violation.
Okay, so that's all, okay, I hear what you're saying, but are you the one that's gonna go talk to these people?
Yes,
and
I serve the notice to the.
Not serving a notice, I'm saying you gotta, what I do is I go talk to the person
Right,
first.
that's called service. That's that knock on the
So
door.
you're gonna go knock on a door and then you're gonna say, get this taken care of, I'll be back in 10 days to hang a note on your door. And then they got, what, is that right, 10 days?
Yeah, 10 days.
You hang a note on the door then, and then you come back in another, what?
10 days, then you have to mail a letter and you gotta wait 15 days, so that's 3.
I understand, I understand. I have a notice, I notify them, I come back in 10 days. Did you comply? Oh, you did not. Then maybe I give you a notice saying, hi, I'll see you down at court.
So you're gonna be doing all this for $15 and then you're gonna go to court.
If I go to court, you're gonna pay me another $15.
Oh, so the price just went up now.
Again, if there's 20 people to be notified, if there's 20 separate cases over a month, like I'm saying, at $15.50 per time.
I'm just telling you what I do.
I understand.
So you know.
I understand. I
So, like,
fully understand.
If one house has weeds and vehicles, and you
They
have
get a notice.
They get,
It's
that's two.
$15.50. No, it's $15.50.
But it's the two ordinances that
Right,
are in
and I
violation.
hand them, you've been notified of 2 ordinance violations, it's 1 service.
It'll
That's
add
it.
up fast. But,
Like I said, rather than having an employee and paying them, I do it as an independent contractor on a fee bill rate of $15.50 per.
So if you show up twice and you don't have to serve them, you just did that for free.
I don't understand what you mean by show up
You
twice.
show up, you tell them, you ask them to clean it up.
Yeah, and I hand
You
them
come back in 10 days.
and I hand them a copy of the ordinance.
And
I serve the notice to that person.
Oh, so that's where you're getting the
What are we
$15
paying
right there.
now?
Then. As soon as you stop and talk to them.
We pay $300 a month. Well, 300, we want to be technical, it's like $312.27 a month.
Before
And
taxes.
then he gets, that's before taxes.
Yeah.
And then he gets $50 per occupancy permit and $30 per building permit.
Okay.
That's what we're doing
Yeah.
now. If there aren't any permits, he gets $300 and some before taxes.
Well, how would that be handled? Go ahead, just so
I get the same thing, doing the occupancy permits and the building permits and all that stuff. But rather.
So now you're gonna save money, Pat, because now he's only gonna charge $15 for the occupancy.
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. When council tells me there's an ordinance violation, that's one of the roles of a constable is to enforce the law. Breaking the law, here it is, get it fixed, I'll be back. Oh, you didn't get it done, hey, I'll see you in court. I mean, I've read through the ordinances that I gave you the copy of. I know exactly what the steps are.
I never
for
got a
each
copy from you.
process.
I got ordinances, we got them from Chris. That's where the whole book came from. Chris had an ordinance book.
Yeah, and Chris gave me the ordinance book long ago, and I made photocopies of everything, and
That's fine.
that's how Kevin has them on the website.
So, but what I'm getting at is, like, if you show up to me and tell me to cut my grass, that just cost us, and you hand me a piece of paper and I cut my grass, that just cost us $15.
Yeah.
So you go everywhere and do that.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna go right down the line to all these houses that have weeds growing up in their alley. That's gonna get awful expensive.
Okay, right here it says 540. How many citations did you hand out last month?
I didn't hand out any citations.
Well,
No, he talked to people and they got them done before he had to do anything. He talked to like Stock and some of these other individuals and even Blankenship, he cut around that bend.
I think what she's saying, though, you just said 300, she's now saying 500.
But
Well,
that was
that's
before taxes.
He didn't
Right,
have to do anything. He made it nice with the borough rather than make an enemy with, homeowners and stuff.
Don't make the community
There's
get.
gonna be no law
See the pros and
enforcement.
cons, you know what I mean?
Bring people together,
Yeah,
money, like a letter, bring, let them know you're.
We're trying to do it nicely to keep everybody happy.
Not to be nasty out from the get-go.
Okay, and again,
Okay,
any member of
person at a
council,
time, please.
I'm just,
any member of council who knows that can knock on the door and say, hey, your grass is long. Why don't you get it fixed? Okay, great. Yeah, that's what council's been doing all of forever.
Now, you give a warning to first before you,
anything. He's $15, anything.
because Bob and them, like, they give a warning, then
Well,
the second time, that's when they
well,
do it. Is that what you would do? You would warn them first and tell them?
I'll drop it. I'll drop it. I'll drop
Attach
it.
it
No, I don't know.
attach it,
That's why I'm
attach it for a
asking.
really good reason here. Attach it's been doing, it's been slow, but he has progressively been after removing that camper. How long had that camper been sitting there on that corner? There's only a couple pieces left now. Could have been nasty with them, but he talked with them and talked with them, but then we ended up having to serve him. He didn't get it, but then he saw the tag on the windshield. Then he got a hold of him again and said, hey, I'm gonna be working on it, and he progressively, anybody can see that he's been progressively removing it, not without
You're ready
having
to
to
take
go
them
to
to
court
court,
and
and
be nasty
you're
with
gonna
the
have all kind
guy.
of people up here screaming and
Just
yelling at the
wanting to
borough
work with
maintenance because of
the community.
the way you're doing it.
Okay, anyway.
I'll drop it then.
No, I just wondering how you,
Like I said, early on, I thought there was an opportunity to serve notice for council. When Chris left, it didn't come up. Bob jumped on it. He's been running with it. It was something that I wanted to bring up just as a way to save some money. But drop it.
Okay.
Let's move on.
okay. Jeff, what do you wanna do from there?
We have to finish with new business.
I know, but we're done with that then.
He
Yeah,
said
he
drop
said
it, move
drop
on,
it.
drop it,
Okay,
move
what
on,
else you
because
have?
of the clowns.
Done. That's
He
it.
Nothing?
just move on.
Okay. Jeff,
Yeah, I wanna put a motion on the table, get new chairs for the citizens.
Our budget's 100,000 in the home.
Would you
now.
listen? I wanna put a motion on the table.
Sure it is.
so explain
We're gonna
exactly
look at
what you
Jay.
need.
Second
I
Jay.
wanna get new chairs. Yeah, please. I wanna get new chairs for the citizens, them are hard. Let us sit on them all the time, see what happens. I wanna get 30 chairs. Buildings and grounds still got 2,800. Alls I need is 1,000 to get the chairs. I'm putting that on the table.
I think we kind of need to, I've noticed that today, and I noticed it the last month, and I noticed it the month before. We're running out of space. There's so many people showing up to these meetings. I don't know if there's any way we can
Talk about that.
move
rearrange
this stuff down that way. You know, I don't know what all's important over there, but if we rearrange this place
If we could turn the
to
table
get more
like this way.
space.
I don't think you can turn this
You
table.
can't turn this table.
No, but you could
Yeah.
still, I mean, if this table was angled that direction,
Or we
it
could
would
pull
bring-
down this way.
it would bring more.
Yeah, we could try.
Yeah, I've heard
There's
30,
no,
30.
you don't have to agree on how it gets done, it just gotta get
They
done.
should have built a bigger council chambers.
And there is still money in the building budget to,
You say you can do it for 1,000?
$1,000, yeah.
I don't have a
We're
problem
looking
with
at the folding ones.
that. We already got the money there.
Well,
Yeah,
you're looking
well, that's
to,
what I was asking.
you have to look in to see what chairs
Yeah.
are available.
Did you
and-
get the prices? That is what it's gonna cost?
No, I got a price on one. But then Janet's gonna look, she's got somebody she knows. But the one was $25, but they wasn't the folding ones, they were from the restaurant.
Yeah.
But they're regular chairs, added back in
How many chairs you getting?
30.
30.
That's like 30.
That's what more we have now.
Why don't you get the prices, bring it?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do, just wanna get, so I can do it.
Try Hofstadter's auctions.
Yeah, get the
It gets a
prices,
lot.
Jeff.
I think that's where Janet's
Yeah,
gonna
it
talk.
gets a lot of Christian chairs.
Yeah, get the prices.
I can't walk, I have to like.
Thank you, okay.
Is the motion approved?
What's
Is the
that?
motion approved?
Approve the motion to
No,
spend
we're gonna wait
$1,000.
till next month.
Jeff was asking for $1,000.
well, I thought he was asking for $1,000.
No, no, no.
No, wait,
Okay, go ahead.
because he said he wanted $1,000. We've done motions before
Mhm.
where you can,
Spend it,
Up
spend it.
to.
okay, move to purchase new chairs
Okay.
for the citizens. 30 chairs, not to exceed $1,000.
Well, that,
And that way
That's
we
what
don't
you're
have to
asking.
wait
That's what I
till.
was
Yeah.
asking for, $1,000.
okay, thank you,
Okay.
Pat. Alright, you made a motion?
Yeah.
I got a second?
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes got it. Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
All right.
They won't disappear. will they?
Anything else?
No. You better
Anything
not.
else?
No, that's.
Now we got a camera.
Yeah, we got a lot of cameras.
All right, let's get on with the meeting here. Okay, Jake, what do you got?
We're good.
Hurry up, my buddy. Let me look.
That's what I wanted to discuss.
Okay, no, I don't have nothing under new.
Bring that on the table.
Mayor.
Let me tell you my idea.
I'll go fast.
Go ahead.
You want
Thank
to
you.
beat me to it.
I just want to go over some 2024 events, but before I do that, I want to give one of the fire department. Oh my gosh. Is that it?
Is this what you're looking for?
Yes. Either, I need a signature from one of the officers of the fire department, so Wendy or Eli,
What is
and
it?
the money for the Christmas party rental for this year. And,
I thought we didn't charge for that.
She has to pay a deposit in case
Oh,
something
okay,
gets
yeah, you
broke.
get that back. I
And is it
gotcha.
cash?
I thought
Yep.
you- Okay,
it's cash.
thank you.
Okay, because the other one wasn't cash. Okay,
It's good though, the other one. I haven't bounced the check in
I
35
know, but I
years.
still have to bring in and
Maybe
give it
no
to the
bumps and
membership
checks.
that
I
handles
haven't done that
that part.
about.
Okay, anyway, for the Christmas, that's
Okay, you
covers
go.
the Christmas party. I
That's
need you to sign that and I'll give you a copy of that after I leave. I mean, after
Okay.
the meeting. Just for 2024, we have April, we use
Until
the
midnight,
Earth
yeah.
Day. That's a week of April 22nd.
What?
March, we have Easter, Halloween in October, and Christmas again in December. And whatever we're planning, and then to have a rec board. All to be brought up in January. But this will be our, so far, events for 2024. Good?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Lots of work to do.
All right.
Okay. Do we need to make a motion
No.
to have all these events?
No.
At the park? At the fire hall?
No.
Okay.
Good.
Okay,
Is that
wait
it,
a
Mayor?
minute. No, what are you doing about fire? Wait,
She's saying what events are.
I know, but I'm filling this contract out and I gotta sign this.
All you have to do is fill at the bottom. Just
No, up
sign your
here,
name.
the contract is over at midnight that day.
I'm sure we're out
Yeah,
at, like,
but-
we're done at 10. But we have to clean.
Yeah, so. I'm not on.
Hey, look, they're gonna have a car cruise again next year.
Yes, sir.
There is, I think it's
Oh,
called
we're
Beaver
cleaning the
County
next day.
Events
And the next
Uh-huh.
morning I
website, and they put out a book, and it doesn't start till April. So I figure you would have January and February maybe. I don't know when. You might want to look that up so you can get it advertised.
You guys weren't
That's-
approved at that last meeting.
I'm not on
There's a
this
lot of
committee.
people that advertise in that. That way you get you out some
I don't want my
advertising.
name
Yeah.
on something.
If that doesn't work, let me know. I have the book at the house.
All righty, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, are we done with those?
Yeah, waiting on you.
question.
Gordon?
Waiting on you.
Oh, thank you.
He's got a question back
I got a
here.
question.
Who got it?
It's
Oh,
old news, but did that big oak tree ever get cut down yet?
It got cut.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
I
got
did all
trimmed,
and
it
everything.
got trimmed,
Apple
they
trees
took all
taken
that
out.
crab apple
Yeah.
trees out.
Grab up, they're gone, they trimmed the oak tree and that
$2,800,
away from the house, and that's all done.
I gotta go,
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Jane,
Okay, we can move on now?
he was supposed to be here tonight.
Okay, now we can go to, what's that? No, sir. Oh, Joe, yeah. Now, Chief, you have anything?
I do not.
Bob, I'm sorry, I forgot you guys.
No, I already did.
Okay, thank you. All right, now, we can have a motion to pay the bills.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Second, Jeff, all those in favor say aye. Opposed?
I'll pay your bills.
Ayes, got it. Can I have a motion to preside the committees, by the committees?
I make the motion.
Bill made the motion. Jeff seconded.
Gotta get paid.
All those in favor say aye.
Uh,
Okay, ayes, got it.
Executive session.
Okay, any other business?
Executive session.
Yeah, I thought I'd go with any
Yeah,
other
one more
business
thing.
first.
I just forgot to say election days. for working in the kitchen. Okay, that's
Okay,
it.
I'll just add it back here.
Thanks.
Okay, now we do the,
We recess into executive session for personnel matter.
okay. Okay. All right, everyone has to leave right now, please.
Just so you know, I'm turning the recorder off.
Oh, yes, please.
Yes, please.
Thanks, Kevin.
All right, everybody in here?
It's dangerous.
All right.
Yeah, just
You say when?
All right.
when.
Okay, go.
All right, so the executive session was to discuss the hiring of a new employee. The current offer that we just gave him was $25 an hour, no health insurance. He is gonna get a paid lunch. He can work 7 to 3 in the winter time and 6 to 2 in the summertime if he so desires. We're offering PTO. He's gonna take the 22nd through the 28th off with no pay.
And you already have something set up
For
for that.
Thanksgiving already.
That's because he's got a vacation coming up. There will be no personal business taking place during work hours. He will have to clock in and out. The equipment stays here, and he has to read and sign the handbook. That's what we got.
All right.
Now,
And then we have a laborer, but don't want to call him until we find out what this gentleman's gonna do, because I don't want just a laborer out here. And this we're gonna interview him whenever
After
you-
Monday.
Oh,
Yeah, and,
yes,
and
after Monday.
Brian asked, to have the weekend to think about it, and he'll get back to us on Monday.
What's this guy look like?
he's pretty qualified for the job.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a job. He's like 28, 30 years old. He lives on College Hill, married, 2 kids, and very, very nice guy. He's a good friend of Cody's.
He's got an interview. He may not even after the interview be interested, so it's just a prospect.
Did we advertise?
We
We did and
advertise
got
for him.
nothing.
We did nothing. This kid's gonna be good though.
Another $800
Alright, let's move on.
wasted.
Wow, is that on Indeed?
Okay,
Huh?
Indeed or? is that-
Newspaper.
Oh, no.
Any other-
It was so expensive.
any other business?
Motion to adjourn?
Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Opposed, oh no, I.
Jamie never.